with some hip hop for you all. And joining me at this time is a hip hop artist out of Louisville and a hip hop artist out of Richmond, Kentucky. At this particular moment, I'm joined with Rmllw out of Louisville and John, one half of We Education Camp. What's going on, fellas?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing so much better now that I finally got the show rolling. And I spent the last 2 weeks celebrating my birthday on the 25th. And July 2nd was part of 4th of July. And I was checking out shows in between those 2 weeks. So feels good to be back on the airways doing what I love to do. And again, my sincere apologies for the show starting off late.
We're good, man.
I feel like
I think as you get older, as I get older, I feel like my birthday celebration gets longer and longer. I don't keep it down to just one day. I'm just like, all right, now this is my birthday week. I get to do this and that.
Yeah, it went from a birthday weekend in your 20s to a birthday week.
Yeah. Everything goes by faster when you're older, so we gotta, make sure that we do it longer.
Yeah. Absolutely, and hopefully Zach will be joining us momentarily. So while we wait for Zach, I'll just go ahead and talk to you both. So for John, last time we talked, it was focusing on your upcoming album with Zach, and then we also talked a little brief about this project. Now, at first, I thought it was a collab. It was like a collaboration between you two, but then I just found out it's a Rmllw album, and the entire album is produced by We Education Camp, from my understanding.
That's right. Which is still and that's still definitely collaborative.
Right. That's,
we definitely got our stamp on it.
Okay, I got you. So, I'll ask you this, Rmllw. What's it been like for you being in the studio with John and Zach, and knowing that this album is about to be released very soon? How's it been like being in the studio with these guys?
Well, I mean, we haven't gotten in the studio together, but we met at a show of mine, and he sent me a beat. He was like, "Yo, I want you to get on this track." So I kind of slept on the beat a little bit. Like, what was it, John? A couple months before I hit you back and was like, "Yo, this is ill." I was like, "What do you think about doing a project?" And he's like, "All right, cool." So it was not even a week or two later, maybe, I had all the tracks, and then I sat on them for a while because it was just one of those albums, a nice little EP that I was like, I don't want to rush this. I don't want this to be something I just throw together. I don't want this to be, I was a little bit overwhelmed by the beat. So I didn't want to just, well, I was, so I didn't want to just throw some stuff on the beats. The more and more I listened to them, I was like, all right, this has to be precise. So
this is where I would say it's really collaborative, though, because, if we were just a production team and we just basically made beats, most of the time what a lot of people do is they'll say, hey, they'll hit up a producer, say, I really want to do something with you, and the producer will have a catalog and just say, all right, take whatever you want. I got this available and this available.
Right.
Rmllw and I actually talked for like 2 hours about this project, and he was like, I want to do a song about this. I want to do a song about this. I want to do a song about this. And so we had nothing. We had nothing set aside for him to have. So we were just like, so I was just like, all right, let me think about, and like just ideas started coming to me, and so all the samples that we're scratching during the choruses, all the music itself has been centered around this theme that he told me about. So and even then, even though we had it done, Rmllw had some notes. It's just like, let's change this a little bit. So even though we never were actually in the studio together, just the fact that we were communicating, he said, this is the idea, this is the concept, and I responded with, or Zach and I responded, sorry, that's taking a lot of credit. Zach and I responded with these beats, and then, you responded with, let's change these a little bit, and then you also respond with your verses. It's just like, it's a true collaboration.
Yeah, and I mean, it didn't stop with just us, because once I did go to the studio, I recorded it at Frame House, and once I got with my friends and the fellas over there at Frame House, it was like a whole nother input was put on it, because normally my attack is a little subtle on record, but live it's very aggressive. So this time I kind of took an approach of, okay, we're going to kind of go with that live feeling on the album. You get what I'm saying? So every song I'm attacking it as if I'm performing it live already on stage versus being in the pocket like I usually am.
Mm-hmm.
So that was with a lot of help from those guys. They were like, come on, man, these beats are knocking. 'Cause, I mean, it'd be 10 or 11 of us in there, and I mean, one of us is doing work, two or three of us are doing work, and, you know, everybody's head's knocking, and they're like, oh my God, and the more I'm hearing that, I'm like, dude, I think I need to just go harder. So the harder I would go, and the more it got game speed, they were like, yeah, do it there, do it right, you know, right there. You know, you got to get out of that laid back on this one, man. This is, you know, so we went that route. It was a lot of heads put together on this.
That's amazing. One thing I'm starting to learn, I'm sure a lot of people are starting to learn, is that artists nowadays don't even have to be in the same building. You basically could just put a beat down, send it to an artist, and then they hear it, and then they put a verse down. I mean, I guess that's just how it is in music these days. Is you don't even have to be in the same building at once. So technology obviously has come a long way.
I think it did. I don't know who's done. I think what did help a lot was that Rmll and I talked in person at shows. Yeah. Actually, over the course of 3 shows. One was at a hybrid show, one was at a knowledge show, and one was at a second knowledge show in Louisville when we actually talked a lot. And then we talked over the phone. So, like,
you know, don't forget my release when I did Concerto Number 9. You and Zach were at that show, and we had talked about it then also, because that might have been when the whole idea sprung up. Because I was like, hey, I just listened to that song you wanted me to get on. And you were like, yeah. And then I was like, yo, that beat? Like, yo, when I first heard the beat, I was blown away. So I was like, yo, we need to do something, man. And that's kind of when the ball got rolling.
That beat he's talking about, by the way, is called Wisdom Teeth. It's going to be on our LP Challenge of the League that's coming out next year, and we'll be doing a video for that, too. So that's coming up. And the beauty of this is that, like, I am in no particular rush to get things out. So when Rmll was saying, like, he wants to have a little bit more time to get this thing worked up and, you know, get his mind right and everything, I was just like, you just go ahead and do that, man, because I'm in, you know, rushing this kind of thing is not good. You know, you really got to let everything simmer. You got to let it cook. You got to let it kind of develop over time. And you know, when he was like, I'm going to need a little bit more time than we had planned, I was like, you go for it, man, because I don't want to rush this out and just be like, we could have made it better than that.
Right, and like I said, for the concept that I gave him, I needed my head to be in a certain place, and until it got there, I didn't want to touch it. So I made other songs and dropped other EPs. I mean, well, I sat on these beats for almost a year and some change, yeah? Like, it's been a while. And then I was like, you know what? It's time. And before you know it, I got a bunch of, well, not a bunch. I have some very key collaborations actually on the album. So it's a couple of up-and-coming guys here in Louisville, a couple of guys that are super established, Otis Jr., Eons D, Sincere, Sasha Renee, Goodbar, and my man Pronoun. That's all. How do I get 5 other artists on a EP with only 5 songs? You'll have to pick it up and check it out. But it worked out, and it didn't clutter, and it's not cluttered, and it's not like, oh my God, this album's full of features. So it just, man, like I said, the collaboration just grew and grew at every turn.
And what we try to do with our beats is let them breathe a little bit, so it's not verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, you know. So it's not going to be, you know, a verse and then a chorus and then immediately another verse. Like they'll be soloing in there and everything, so it kind of spreads it out a little bit, so you don't have, it doesn't seem like there's this sort of assembly line of MCs just kind of stacked up on top of each other coming in, so you get time to sort of let it absorb.
Yeah, and I mean the beats weren't, the music wasn't cluttered, you know, it was real open to where we had our lanes to do whatever we needed to do, and you know, hey, we're gonna do this like this. You go here, you go there. You know, it was like I said, the collaboration effort was amazing from front to back. I mean, I had an actual artist. Shout out to Ashley Kathy Art. She did the cover. And, I mean, that's probably one of my more favorite parts of the album. You know, it's crazy. You know, the artwork is crazy. So, you know, shout out to her for doing the artwork, you know. And, the collaborative effort. And my thing is, if I collaborate, I don't like to micromanage. I'm not like, do this, do that. I'm like, yo, do your thing. Because if I didn't like what you were doing, I wouldn't be talking to you anyway. So do your thing, right, and then I'll tailor it to me, and then we'll go from there, you know. And that's what they did. They did their thing, and then I got them, and I was like, all right, let's do this, this, and this. I like everything, so let's do this, this, and this. A little tweak here, a little tweak there, and then it's me, and we can roll with it, you know. So I'm never about making major changes, but I'll just add my 2 cents, for lack of better terms. And, you know, we'll get to where we'll get to a center line and everybody's happy. And, I mean, that's how you should collaborate. It shouldn't be a micromanaging.
Well, when I first saw you at that hybrid show, I already knew that your head was right, that your lyricism was, like, phenomenal, and just, like, your taste in what a beat should sound like. I was like, there's absolutely no way we couldn't work together. And I think the fact that you had, you know, that this project is really about sort of just advancement, just personal advancement, spiritual advancement. I mean, that is the most relevant thing that people need to hear right now. After the week we've all had, you know, this past week, it's just like this is coming out exactly when it needs to come out. If it came out a year ago, it wouldn't be as impactful as it coming out, you know, 2 weeks after this really horrible week we've just had.
And I'm addressing, and if you pay attention, you'll hear I'm addressing all of it. And this was literally before it all started happening. I mean, the album has been wrapped for a week, you know, so this was all right before this stuff started happening. I'm like, yo, this is what needs, you know, it's like, come on, y'all. It's a lot of things being addressed on this album, from sucker MCs to, you know, raising this nation, raising the people, you know, fixing this problem. So, I mean, it's going to be what I like to say, dope. I mean, I don't know what other way to put it. It's going to be dope.
And thoughts and prayers and condolences go out to all those who lost someone this past week.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just been a devastating week. There's a lot of anger. There's a lot of frustrations. There's a lot of finger pointing and blaming and things like that. And it's just very unfortunate right now. And I don't know what to think of this country anymore. I ask myself, as a black man, is it even safe for me to get out the house on a weekend? You know,
I mean, it is very much so. Sorry to interrupt you. Just one of these subjects right now, I'm like, look, guys, check it out. Here's what it is. I don't know why you're surprised. It was bound to happen. I don't know why anybody is surprised, because, see, here's the deal. Everybody's good book. And the golden rule, you do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I'm very remorseful. I feel very, very bad for each and every family that suffered a loss this week. But what I do understand is you get back what you put out. Period. That's not justifying either side. I'm not saying those, I'm not saying the whole thing in Dallas is anything like right. And we all know the other situations weren't anything like right. But somewhere in the universe, those energies cross like that, and that's just the way it is.
It's also just the deep, deep star that just keeps showing up again and again and again and again. And it's just like you can't just stick it's just like if you have a problem in the foundation of your house and just stick a little thing over top of it and hope it works, and just like let's make it look nice, right? But then the crack gets bigger. Let's make that look nice, and the crack gets bigger. And you can't superficially gloss over it and hope that it's repaired. I mean, this is a long-standing, even before the United States was formed, problem that might require another several centuries to fix. But if we all have to really chip in and work on it, and it's just like that's why hip hop for me as a culture, as a movement, is so great, because it never takes its sight off of that, the real hip-hop culture and movement, not corporate rap, but the real movement has never taken its eyes off of that. And so I think that a lot of what you've been doing, and also what you're doing very clearly on the EP, is sort of just another sounding call for we got work to do. All of us got work to do.
We got to find a balance.
Yep.
We got to find a balance, because what everybody is thinking it's going to be, it's not. There's never going to be this utopia of happiness where everybody is always getting along and everything is peachy. There's never going to be that. But what there can be is balance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There can be balance. Right now, things are just out of control. Everything is out of control. There's no balance anywhere. We have to find balance. There has to be a balance of power between people and the state. There has to be a balance of power between people. There has to be a balance in the families. Stop tearing these families up over petty stuff. They have to get back to a balance, because if every day is a sunny day, then what in the hell is a sunny day?
Yeah.
Very good point.
You know what I'm saying? So we just got to find the balance. The balance has to be met again. That's all that needs to happen. There's never going to be a time where it's all chaos. There's never going to be a time when it's all happiness. Right now, we we closer to that end of all chaos on the polarity pole. So it's like, let's get back to the middle. Let's find a balance. You know what I'm saying? Let's get back. The crime is always going to be here. It always has. Black on black, white on white, pink on purple, polka dots on stripes. Crime is going to be here. We just have to get it under control. Equally. You know what I'm saying? You got to balance out the scales. If you're going to punish one way, you need to punish the other the exact same way, or you will totally distort the balance of power in the eyes of said subject.
That is true.
Once you get it balanced too, it's like you got to keep your eye on it and make sure it doesn't start moving again, moving off track again, because I think a lot of people, particularly white people, got caught on their heels on this whole thing, and they're just like, what's going on? Everything's falling apart, and it came out of nowhere. It's like, no, it didn't.
No.
It just bumped to the surface again. We didn't keep our eye that it's tipping out of control, and it's kind of like you can't just sit back and consume this just like you're watching a show, and this is something that you actually got to get your butt up and do something about it. So
you remember in I remember in middle school when the teachers, I had a teacher, and I'm pretty sure a lot of them did this. Hey, first day of class, everybody has an A. You just got to maintain it.
Yep.
Then you had the teachers that was like, all right, everybody, first day of class, you got to work your way up to this A. Which class was the easiest one to get the A in? The one you had to work up to. The one that you had to maintain was harder because every time you missed an assignment, you lost grade. You lost points. But if you never had the points to begin with and you missed the assignment, you know what I'm saying? You follow me? Yeah, you lost out, but did you really lose out? You never had the points to start. It was just potential. It was just potential points. So you can always score 100 on the next one, and that'll turn into a 70 and make that other one that you missed almost passing. Yeah, it's a D, but it'll help you get that C or B at the end versus missing an assignment and going from a 96 to a 86. You know what I'm saying? And trying to get back to that 96 is now hard.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of the things where we got to be responsible, like he said, with maintaining the balance after we achieve it.
That is true.
But until then, we're just going to get what we got.
Yeah. Yep. So, fellas, it's been great chatting with you both. Congratulations, Rmllw and John and Zach. Shout out to Zach. I'm definitely looking forward to the album, the EP technically. July 23rd, if you're in the Louisville area, go check this man out. See him perform. He's going to perform songs off the EP. And there's a lot of talented local artists out there. Support local music and support local hip-hop.